Hello everybody, my name is Serena and I'm an intern with the Environment for the Americas located at Saguaro National Park, East and West. I created a video of just basically what we've been doing. Here's some clips from the first week. This week we kind of just spent learning the area. We went to Madrona Pools, which is located on private property, so only park employees are allowed in this area. It is located on X9 Ranch property, but this is the area where bullfrog surveys and water level surveys are conducted. And it was pretty windy. If you could see the ripples inside the water just from like the air, the wind. We almost lost a member. But here's somebody doing the survey. We headed back to the west side of the park and we got to meet an intern named Rashawn, and he's from the Tohono O'odham tribe. We were kind of just checking out the rock structures in the area. We got to see some ancient petroglyphs from the Hahugam, and we did a 6-mile hike to Signal Hill. I included pictures at the end. Then we did a vegetation removal. We headed back to Madrona area, which is located in X9 Ranch property. And this purpose for the vegetation removal was for wildlife friendly fencing. So the barbed wire is on the top and bottom fence, and the bottom fence is pretty low. Top fence is too high, so it's just more safer for the animals and more friendly for them. The right side of the property of the fence is park property. The left side of the fence is private property. So we would just pretty much cut up the vegetation and toss it over onto the park property side of the fence. So that way it wouldn't cause any issues. And it's just so beautiful out there. We're literally surrounded by mountains. And I was able to record a clip from morning to end of the day. So here is a start at Rincon Mountain. We all met at the tool area. We gathered some tools like safety goggles, gloves, wire, stays, a pickaxe, and another tool to kind of bend the wire. We all load up in the van. The window was frozen, so we had to wait a little bit. Then we headed over to Madrona area, which is located on X9 Ranch. And we had like a safety meeting, and we were able to get our tool belts. I included a demonstration of the barbed wire before, just so you could see how low it is and how high the top one is and how dangerous that is for animals to be jumping over. After that, she gave us a demonstration on how to measure the wire for installing it. And pretty much she stretches to the end about 20 feet from each other. We grab on. And at the end, she ties it off, and then they tension the other side. And then we start securing the fencing. So she was able to demonstrate on how I would properly secure the fencing. And here's a video of me attempting. This is my first try. So it was pretty cool. And after that, we went ahead, packed up our tools, and headed back to the van. Those are little magnetic sticks that collect all of the metal that's dropped around there. These are also stays that we have to install, just depending on how big the fence is. Some will have 2 and some will have 3. And you can see the new fencing, how nice it looks. It's way more higher than the last fencing on the bottom, so animals could cross under. After that, we went back for our pickaxes to go do some invasive species removal.
This one's native and that one's invasive. Like, this part where the seeds are is called the rachis. That's the easiest way, in my opinion, to kind of like distinguish between different plants. So this is called bristlegrass. It looks like birdseed versus the one on the right, bufflegrass. Like, it's a lot fluffier, and I kind of like to like brush it around just to make sure there's like no critters in there or snakes or anything. Once like I'm pretty confident there's not, I'll kind of like push it all to one side to like expose the base. And from there, you don't need to be like swinging it over your head. Just do like little tiny like little ones like that. It can use the leverage to kind of like get under the roots. Ideally, you want to try to remove as much of the root mass as possible because it has these little nodules. The plant can regrow from any one of those little nodules, which sucks.
Dang. After our buffalo pool, we were able to have lunch down in the wash. Then we got right back to it in another area, a little bit more upward of the wash. Here are some demonstrations of the piles that were previously there. You can see they're all gray now. We kind of pretty much just put rocks on top of it so the wind doesn't blow it. And we also have to bend the buffalo grass in a specific way so that way the seeds don't fall into the wash if there is rainfall. And I included a video of me doing an actual removal. It does get tiring after a little bit, but it's good work. It pays off seeing the before and after. Especially when you gather them up and then you have a big old pile in your hands and you're like, yep, I'm doing it. I was so proud I had to show off my pile. And then after this, we headed over to the van, go load up our tools, and return to the Rincon Mountain to pack our tools away. It did start raining. I called it. I said it would start raining by the time we left, and it did. Then Jose came to visit us. We got to show him our buffalo pool, our fencing and vegetation removal, which was really nice. It was a little hike trying to get through the wash. But overall, it was a good experience. He looked very proud of us. And this was the area that I had recorded earlier. So he also was able to set us up on a hike with 2 local community members who are really active in the community, which was really cool. Selena Barajas, who is running for the 5th Ward of South Tucson. She's the founder of Reinas Who Hike. They offer free guided hikes as a way to like reconnect with yourself and nature. And she also works for AZ Mountain Mamas, which like supports resilient communities through nature-based wellness and climate response health. And she also owns a mobile boutique and is going to open up a coffee shop for South Tucson, which is pretty cool. And we met with Sergio Avila, and he's from the Sierra Club. He also is active in Renew Earth Running, which is a Native-led organization with the mission to restore land stewardship to Native people. I believe last year he said he raised over $50,000, and they pretty much give the money back to Native tribes to help them get their land back. So it's hashtag legs for land back. I also included a clip for border impacts. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good morning. We're over here at Saguaro National Park West, and we're doing border impacts. My objective today is to use GPS. The last 2 numbers, I'm staying between 20 and 30, looking around the area, looking for tents, water bottles, backpacks, anything that could have been left behind. Do it section by section. So I have about 7 other people on the sides of me, and they're about 10 feet away from me. So far, I have not seen anything, but you have to be careful because we go through like forest of choyas, so it gets pretty intense. But the goal of this is to make an annual report with all the items we collected out here, just to show the impacts of the border and how it affects our surroundings, especially our homelands. So here is how we keep an eye on our coordinates. Sometimes you'll have to walk completely in another way. There's the end of the fencing. But you kind of have to go around certain saguaros and trees. You could get hurt really bad if you go straight through it. And at the end, I included some pictures. Here are the petroglyphs at the west side of Saguaro National Park. You have to get a tour from an intern to be able to go in this area just because of how close you can get to it. Here was a picture of a hawk that I captured on the way to Signal Hill. This was another picture of on the way to Signal Hill, and here's the top of Signal Hill. If you look close enough, you can see petroglyphs. I thought this was cool because it says please touch, and usually you see please do not touch. Just this is how like our typical lunch days look. And then some fun selfies of myself next to these giant choyas. But it's a really good opportunity. I would just like to thank everybody who sponsors this, everybody who's given me this opportunity to be a part of the Conservation Corps. It really connects you back to your homeland and makes you appreciate things a little bit more, and it gives you a different and a new understanding of nature. And it's like Disneyland in the desert. But thank you, everybody. Have a good day.